goes. When ultimately we are only the soul, is around in the feeling, like when we experience it, we experience it as real. If I'm sitting as a human being here, I cannot say that it's a fake thing. It's a reality that I'm a human being. But on the contradictory, I make a statement that I'm only the soul. So on one hand, I'm soul. On the other hand, I'm a human being. Which is true? Both is true. So how do you resolve the conflict of both being true? How can both be true? And for this, Acharya Sri in the Adhyatma Padavali answers this question. He says, Bhav parinamik raha आत्मा का अस्तित्व क्षयोपशम औदयिक है उसका स्फुट व्यक्तित्व. So we existing as a soul is a reality, but that is a parinamic bhav. And we existing as a human being and as a mother and daughter and whatnot is either Odaik bhav or Kshayopshamik bhav. So first let's pick this word parinamic bhav. What is parinamic bhav? What is parinamic bhav? Anyone can?
What results at the end of the pariyai? What is the end result of that pariyai? Is
Parinamic bhav. Yeah, so there are different ways of defining parinamic bhav. Parinamic bhav means the true nature of a reality. So for example, if I have this book in my hand, ultimately what it is, it's matter. What is the unit of the matter? It's atomic. So the nature of atom is its parinamic bhav. My question is, I've written so many notes in it, all Bhagwan's words on it, right? And there is another truth that I know certain things in my soul. The knowledge which I know in my soul, same thing I noted down on the paper, right? There's no difference in it because I wrote it. So the question is, what is the difference between the knowledge on the paper and the knowledge in me?
One is Suddha, the other one is Adhyatmic.
Right, so the paper doesn't have consciousness, it doesn't have the power of knowing, and the soul has the power of knowing. On the other hand, this is unconscious, like non-conscious reality, and soul is a conscious reality. So the nature, why is this a matter not having consciousness, and why is the soul having consciousness? Why is space not having consciousness and soul having consciousness? Why is the soul having the power of knowing, and why doesn't the space have the power of knowing? Did you ever ask this question? That is parinamic bhav, which means the reality, the way which exists in its true nature. That is its parinamic bhav. So this is the simplest way of understanding parinamic bhav. What is the way it is in its true sense. Now the other deeper kind of, the other important significance of parinamic bhav is bhavi and abhavi. For example, there is two words. Bhavi means who has the capacity to liberate someday. Are we all bhavi? How many have a doubt? How many will say, I don't know? Abhavi means don't have the power of liberating. There is a stone which comes from the mining. There are different kinds of stones which comes. Some stone you can make idol out of it. Pratima bana sakte hain. Some you cannot make it. Why? Some stone have that potentiality, some don't have the potentiality. So the potentiality to liberate and not liberate, why is it that way? Why some soul does not have the potentiality to liberate and some have the potentiality to liberate is parinamic bhav. See, in Jainism, God did not create us. Period. So we cannot blame God, why am I like this? At the end of the day, when you wake up, and you smile, it's because you made a choice to smile. And in the morning, if you wake up with a sad face, you choose to be sad. There was a conference we attended, I think it was in Bahamas. There was a rabbi. He told when we wake up, most of the people, the first thing they do is read the news. And when they read the news, they see that there is an attack on this place, there is this shooting happened this here, and what happened? We take the depression from the paper into our minds. Now, is your depression going to help the world? By thinking that, oh, sad, this happened, will you ever make a change in the world? Yes? No.
No.
Then, on the other hand, if a person does not respond to the news saying, oh, sad, it happened this way, what would you say? Emotionless person.
Or ignorant.
Ignorant, doesn't have any sense of the world, doesn't have value for the world. So we are in the conflict again. On one hand, by thinking in that way, we don't add anything but negative karma to ourselves. On the other hand, if you don't respond in that way, you're not a social person. You're not a compassionate person as per the society. But the truth is, how do you respond to it then, right? Because the mind has the ability to think. And the moment you read anything, you would analyze it. You cannot stop analyzing yourself. So what do you do when you read a news? Observe it as a truth statement rather than judging the statement. What happened is a negative emotion. For example, there was a gun shooting in a school. A person was emotionally kind of down and went for shooting. He didn't have the sense of what he was doing right or wrong. Now, when we look into the situation, you could think of what kind of karma might have motivated this person to respond in this way. What kind of karma those people might have had to be in that place at that time to die. What kind of karma those kids might have had where they survived the situation. There are situations where some of the kids actually survived through such a situation. So it's all a karmic game. And if we can penetrate and observe that, you would not blame the people who shoot it. You would not feel that, oh, this person should be punished. You know, like when we were in US, there was a gun shooting happened. And because of that gun shooting in a school, there was a law which came up that anyone can keep a gun. I mean, there are certain changes in the laws of the gun power or something. Now, just by changing the laws that you can keep a gun for your protection, would it anyway help the situation or it could worsen it? There are both the aspects to it. So I'm not going to go into the legal problems, but how there is a chain of response in the world. Political response, emotional response, social response, but there is a spiritual response to everything. And if we can look from the glass of spirituality, you'd always get a trigger of spiritual spark from the situation. Anything can just uplift us and make us think deeper about the truth of reality or life. So we're talking about parinamic bhav, that when a person is bhavi or abhavi, we don't blame why this person is like this, because we all carry our own responsibilities. And here, the most difficult part of Jainism, I would say, is that when a soul is abhavi, which means does not carry the potentiality to liberate, it's not because of karma. Then it is naturally that way. That is parinamic bhav. No one made the soul that way. The soul did not choose to be that way, but it is this way. So this, I think, is the toughest truth of Jainism where we have to accept it. Where it is not something who is responsible for it, and that is parinamic bhav. Now, when we talk about parinamic bhav, and I asked you a question, whether we are bhavi or not. Some of you said yes and some of you had a doubt. The same question was asked in front of us. Sadhu, he raised it and there was again the same kind of response. To this the sadhu said, the moment you ask a question, whether I will liberate or not, it is guaranteed that you will liberate. Because even the question that will there be an end of this life cycle, end of this misery, end of this birth and death, is a signature that yes, someday you will make an effort and get out of it. So which means believe in yourself, you must be bhavi. Yeah. So parinamik bhav is something which we cannot change, we don't make, it's not in our control. Then what is in our control is karma. And that is where Jainism always emphasizes on. And there are two situations of karma, audaik bhav and shayopshamik bhav. Audaik bhav means the fruition of karma, the result of karma. Someday something we did it, the baggage is in there and when the record shows up, when it shows its result, that is audaik bhav. Now when we are a human being, it is audaik bhav. Of which karma? Nam karma. So there are 8 kinds of karma in Jainism. There are 2 kinds of karma, ghati and aghati. 4 is ghati, 4 is aghati. Those which are aghati, the result of the aghati karma, the fruition of the aghati karma is in the external world. It is in the material world the results is visible. The result of the fruition, the karmic consequence of ghati karma is on the soul. So there are 2 kinds of karma. One has a psychic impact, one has material impact. Now the problem with us living in this world is, what is important for us? The outer world, right? What is inside us doesn't matter. What kind of dress you have worn in the party is so important than what kind of mood you have in the party. Or even that is important. Both are important. But pehle dress important. Until you don't reach the party time, how many times your mood swings up and down. Now this might not be for males. That I don't know. But we go through a phase where bahar ki dunya is more important. So there the aghati karma are 4. Which are those? Nam karma, vedaniya karma, gotra karma and aisha karma. Because of nam karma we have 4 gati. So narak, tiryansh, manushya or dev. So we are a human being, someone is in hell, someone is in heaven. All these different forms of life are because of the play of nam karma. And the nam karma so we are talking about 2 kinds of karma, ghati and aghati. The 4 aghati karma, nam, gotra, aisha and vedaniya, these can be both positive and negative. But ghati karma is always negative. Ghati karma, which has an impact on the soul, is always ashubh. And the aghati karma, which has an impact on the material world, can be shubh and ashubh. So we have 2 situations. One is aghati karma and the other one is ghati karma. Going back to this aghati karma cycle, which is external impact, it's very important and crucial that, for example, when a person is tall, healthy, fit, why is it? Nam karma. So the nam karma is positive or negative there? It is positive. When there is shubh nam karma consequence, then we have a healthy body, good body, you might look good, you might have a good voice, you might have good height. So all these physical things which we have is because of Shubha Nam Karma. But on the other hand, a person could not have beauty, might not have a good voice, might look good but might have pale skin or dark skin, or height is short, different kinds of things. Now both these karma, which is Nam karma, Shubh and Ashubh, can have its impact together. So a person might look good but might be short. And is shortness good or bad, or tallness good or bad? It's again a social norm, right? In certain places you might be good, and some other place you might not be right. So this is all Nam karma khel. Gotra karma. Gotra karma is status. Which family you're born in is because of your Gotra karma. Royal family, it's Shubh Nam karma. But suppose a child is born in a royal family with disability. What is that? So what I'm trying to bring is the play of Shubh and Ashubh constantly goes together with different karmas, some being Shubh, some being Ashubh. There's a pet born to a very rich family, a dog. What kind of life the dog is getting? Better than a human being at some point. Why? It became a dog because of Ashubh Nam Karma, but there is other Vedaniya Karma which is Shubh, and so he's enjoying the pleasures. So when we explore the world, we are constantly looking for Shubh Nam Karma, Shubh Gotra Karma, Shubh Vedaniya Karma. And we don't want Asata Vedaniya, we don't want pain, we don't want unhealthy body, we don't want, we want good looks. So the trap which we are in is Aghati Karma. But what we have inside us, what the karma which really impacts the soul is Ghati Karma. The kind of thinking we have is because of Mohaniya Karma. A situation came where you worked hard so much on a project. At the end, the project ended up to be dead end. You had to drop it. How do you deal with it? The emotional up and down which comes up in this situation is Mohaniya Karma. Now when there is a Shubh, Uday or fruition of Mohaniya Karma, we respond to in negative way. But on the same time, like in Nam Karma, what did I say? Shubh Nam Karma ka Uday, you get healthy stuff. Ashubh Nam Karma ka Uday, unhealthy stuff. Now in Mohaniya Karma, how does it work? Mohaniya Karma ka Uday means negative thinking. When do you get a positive thinking then? Is there a Shubh Mohaniya Karma?
Doesn't Purusharth come in, Samaniji, anywhere? Because just to go back, if somebody does a cosmetic surgery, if the looks are not good and they want to do good looks, so cosmetic surgery, is it Purusharth?
Okay, very good question. So you can play with your Nam Karma, you can play with your Gotra Karma, you can play with your Vedaniya Karma. You had intense pain, you took a medication, you got rid of it. Did you really get rid of the karma?
No. Suppress.
Yeah. So actually, he smartly deviated me from my topic. But I will come back to that question which I raised, but I want this to be answered first. When we talk about Purusharth, there are two things which we need to remember. One, Nimit. There is always an external Nimit in our life or an internal Nimit in our life. So for example, you are in a place where you don't have any breathing issues. You change your location and you have constant asthma attacks. What was different? The karma always needs Dravya Kshetra Kal Bhav for its impact. You might change a place and you might see a change in the karmic consequence. You might Change your emotions and you might see a change in the karmic consequence. So there are different factors. If we change around, the karma cannot give us an impact. So for example, a person is very old, there are wrinkles on the face and want to look good, goes for cosmetic surgery and looks good again. So though there was this Ashubh Nam Karm Ka Uday as time. Now how did the Ashubh Nam Karm came into being? Because of aging. So there is a factor which helps assist the karma to function. If you remove the factor, the karma cannot help itself. Many times we produce the factor. How? You eat unhealthy constantly. What happens? You go by your taste, you go by your tongue, and then you end up saying, oh, I'm in pain. Why are you in pain? Where did the pain come from? The karma, you cannot blame the karma. Is it karma?
No.
But you gave the karma an opportunity to respond. And then it happened. A person is being diagnosed with possibility of cancer and is constantly aware and conscious of the whole lifestyle. What will happen? The person might not ever have to go through that pain. Why? Awareness. So awareness, lifestyle, different kinds of factors can change your consequence because you can regulate the karma. Ultimately, karma is helpless until it doesn't receive dravya kshetra kal bhav. If there is intense pain and you do a lot of meditation, what happens? You can, and we know in the camp we all listen to Jatin Bhai as well, right? That how with the power of meditation, he did not take any kind of drugs for painkillers and stuff. The karma is in its uday, is giving its results. But how do you subjugate it? By meditating. So your bhav is so intense. We are actually having Samaniji's mommy. She's 98 years old and she's taken Santara. Samaniji gave her Santara from here, and today is the 15th day of Santara. We're constantly helping her. So we see that she cannot speak anymore. Her tongue has got twisted and she's in last phase. She cannot speak anything. Constantly she has some or the other pain, right? I mean, bed sores and all kinds of stuff can happen. But with the power of chanting and all the energy which she has, she's never complaining, not even no. 24/7, if you're constantly reciting something, she's alert and listening. We might get tired, we want to sleep, but she's just up. So you could see her, there is this problem, there is this Vedaniya karma, Aisha karma kind of coming to an end, Vedaniya karma giving its consequence, Asata is there, but she's in peace. So you can mild the whole effect by being in peace. I had a small leg pain, whole night I could not sleep. What did I do? I aggravated the pain because my mind was bothering. So if my mind gets into the bothering mode, what happens? I am exit. So it is the factors, the nimit actually does work. So when you are in a situation, see whether you are adding more to the nimit or making it milder. There's a person on the bed and sad, and you kind of add such words, oh, so sad to see you in this situation. And I mean, we want to show that we are empathizing. Empathizing by feeling the same sadness and aggravating that sadness. Is this a way you help? But if you don't say those words, you would be considered like not antisocial. When Samaniji meets someone, what would they say? It's a part of life. Actually, there was a student who had some kind of surgery going on, and he lost his his cat had to be euthanized at the same time, and there was a lot of things going around his life, and we tried to console him that don't worry, it's a part of life, you had to go through this, but you ask forgiveness. And I mean, you try to shift the consciousness from pain to spiritual thought or pain to sadness. It's up to us. So the nimitt which we create in the external world, the society creates in the external world, or it's not, sometimes we create it, sometimes it's there and we pick it up. You didn't have to respond to things, but you chose to respond. So this nimitt is a big part of our life. It's up to us whether we pick the newspaper and choose that as a nimitt to be sad, or choose that as a nimitt to be awakened and aware of the truth of life, right? So nimitt is a big thing. And when he said about this cosmic thing, there was a cosmetic surgery. There was a lady and she thought that she's going to almost die. Of course, in Jainism, we don't have a death god kind of god, but in Hinduism and other philosophies, they believe in. So the death god came and said, I want to take you away. She said, no, please give me more life. I want to live a longer life. He said, okay, fine, 3 more days. 3 more days you can live, and then I'll come after 3 days. She said, wonderful. She was so happy about it. 3 more days, great thing. She called the doctor. She said, change my face. When the death god will come back again, he will not be able to identify me and I will survive forever. What happened? The doctor had to do the surgery. He got the money for it. She went through the surgery. She looked very different now. 3rd day, she was out of the hospital, healthy and fit, fine. She was crossing the road. There was an accident. What happened? She died. We might play with certain karmas, but ultimately everything has to be paid back. How do you pay back? How do you deal with that audaik bhav is a big part of our life. So how can you play with the nimitt? How do you play with the audaik bhav? If we learn to deal with it in the right manner, things would be very different in our life. Because the truth is, every one of us go through some karmic consequence, big, small. Some people go through big turmoil, but in peace. You know, a family, they ended up losing everything. Like they just went to scratch. And it was not their mistake. Some partner did something mess up and the government actually came into play. And long story short, this person, when he was going to this hard time, we saw him, he was in total peace. He would do his upvas, do his samai, do his mala with full confidence and peace. We would ask him, how are you? But he says, I'm fine. At some point, he was losing his mother's jewelry. He was fine. His wife got shook up, like, this big thing. But for him, money comes and goes. It's truth of life. I could earn then, I can earn again, no matter. So that peace was possible for him because he knew the truth. The truth of Uday, the truth of Anuday. What comes goes, right? If it's a dark night, it comes, it goes. If there are failures, it comes, it goes. So nothing stays forever. Even the pain, the disease, the death, everything has to pass by. So with that awareness, spiritual awareness, if we are able to deal with it audaik bhav, we have so many things which has happened in our life. We hold on to them. Small things sometimes are big things are sometimes small things. How do you deal with it? So let go that, because it's a past part of your life. You cannot change it. How many lives have we lived? Anant life. And how many times we have failed in this life? These Anant life? Many times. How many times you have got success in these lives? Many times. So the story of failure and success, Udaya Kshopsham, the story of pain and non-pain, healthy body and unhealthy body has been constantly going on and on and on. Don't worry, even this is a short phase, it will pass by. So the play of Udaik Bhav in the external world is important for us. But if we are able to deal with the Udaik Bhav, the Mohaniya karma, which is in us, which impacts at the soul level, the whole story would be different. Because when we were in pain, if the Mohaniya karma, if the attachment was too intense, I could not stay focused. I was constantly getting bothered. So the response which we have emotional is because of Mohaniya karma. And if that response which is coming from us, from the inner karmas which are impacting on the inner level, at the soul level, at the conscious level, if we are able to deal with it, everything is different. There's a person who is about to get engaged, and like in the process of engagement, what's important? How does the girl look like? How tall she is? How beautiful she is? It's all external factors. What are we looking for? Aghati karm, naam karm. Naam karm shubh hai ya ashubh hai? Gotra karm shubh, how is the status of the family? Gotra karm shubh hai ya ashubh hai? But what kind of thinking this person has? What kind of perspective the person has towards life? You will have to live with the personality of the person, the inner personality of the person, right? Do we look into that? And at the end of the day, why is this a problem? Because the Naam Karm doesn't make any difference. It is the Mohaniya Karm which makes a difference. When there is a dispute, who is fighting? The Mohaniya Karm is fighting. So if we have the awareness of ourselves in the karma which is helping us internally, I mean, giving us an impact at the internal level, coming back to my question, that when we have this Mohaniya Karm Uday, the Uday of Mohaniya Karm is Rag and Dvesh. But that's an alarm, right? Are we all here? Yes.
Deal with Mohaniya karma now.
So the point is, the kshayopsham of Mohaniya karma will make us positive. Sometimes people say, oh, it is a shubh uday for her, so she's taking diksha. Or it is her uday, she's got a good uday that she's going to get the kind of opportunity to be in the retreat or listen to the discourse. No. It is Mohaniya karma kshayopsham which makes a difference there. So if the Mohaniya karma is in its fruition state, which means it is negative impact. But if the Mohaniya karma is inactive or diluted or kind of sublimed, then the impact is positive. So the positive thought we have is because of the dilution of Mohaniya karma. Rag dvesh kam kar diya, which means you have started governing Mohaniya karma rather than Mohaniya karma governing us. So when there is an uday of Mohaniya karma, do I go by the Mohaniya karma? If a person is really angry and the person says, okay, let me count my breath. What do? You bring a switch to the flow of karma, right? There you don't see that, oh, I'm angry because this person is very late today. Instead of blaming the other person, you're trying to deal with your inner person, your inner self, your inner thinking, your inner emotions. And there you awaken your spiritual self. So the switch from Uday to Kshayopsham is our Purusharth. So Purusharth is a big part of our life, because Purusharth is one which brings in new karma. Purusharth is one which dilutes the old karma. Purusharth is the one which deletes the old karma. Purusharth is the one where you can make an effort to not have the karma influence you. It comes, it goes. Sometimes someone walked in, you were in deep meditation, you didn't know that something came. Did you know? No. There's another story in Hinduism. There was a time when Shani came to Shiva and said, now I'm going to impact you for साढ़े सात ही लगती है ना, 7.5 years probably.
Yeah.
So he came to Shiva and said, now it's time that I will have influence on you and I'm going to impact your life. Shiva thought Shani is going to come to me and influence me. So I should choose a place and be in such a place where the Shani doesn't have any role to play. Shiva goes into the retreat, goes onto the mountains, goes into a cave, sits in meditation for 7.5 years. After 7.5 years, Shani comes and tells Shiva, how was the time? He said, I had the best part of my life. Why? How was the impact of Shani? Shani thought that I have influenced Shiva by being in seclusion for 7.5 years.
Yeah.
But was that 7.5 years a painful time for Shiva? He was in meditation. So there is an impact. There is Shani working there. But how is it working? It doesn't make a difference to you. So there are times when there are situations which are negative for us, but it turns out to be positive for us. There's a person who had some asata vedniya karma, like vedniya karma, where he had some joint pains, and he started. The situation got worse and worse, and he was in his youth age, like fully ready for business and new life. That time he had some bone problems, and ultimately he went to bedridden state, or he had to walk sitting. Now imagine a situation where they went to all kinds of doctors, everything, nothing worked. And in India there are different other therapies, right? So everything was tried out, didn't work. Then he thought, I have to stop everything. He was tired of all doctors and all the painful things. He said he started meditation and reading Agam. By his meditation and Agam, now he's walking on his legs without one pill taken from the doctor. And his whole life changed. And he also says that I can feel the karma, like which part of the body there is intense karma functioning and stuff. He is an ideal example where no doctor ever said that he's going to be standing on his legs. He dealt with his Vedaniya karma through his meditation, and he was out of the situation. So there is a Sata Vedaniya, but if that situation had not come in his life, what would have happened? He would have got married, he would have started business, all social things would have come up. But by going into this, he didn't choose business, he didn't choose to marry. He wants to go for a spiritual awakening further and further, and it was awakening of his soul. So there is asata vedaniya ka uday, fruition, but ultimately the soul has got such an uplifting shift that he's in a different plane now. He's an ideal example for everyone. So the karmic uday might be any way it is, but how you pick it up could make a big impact on your life as well. So if we have the awareness of this karmic uday, Mohaniya karma, I said, is very crucial which has an impact on the soul. The other karma is Jnanavarniya karma. Because of Jnanavarniya karma, what happens? The power of knowing is less or more. Some are gifted kids, some are not gifted kids. And the power of knowledge is because of that. If we put a constant effort, some child who seem to be dumb end up to be very smart. So there is a change. The karma can actually get milder and milder. And the next karma is Jnanavarniya, Darshnavarniya. Jnanavarniya, Darshnavarniya karma are kind of twins. Jnanavarniya karma is related to deep knowing. Darshnavarniya karma is related to just the perception, in the sense the knowing of the existence. So if I see this as a matter, that is Darshnavarniya karma. But if I see this as a book, as a diary which is helping me, an orange color and a white color, all detailed knowing, is Jnanavarniya karma. So they are all kind of almost walking together and has an impact on our knowing and in detail and in brief. And the last karma, Antray karma. In reality, in Jain philosophy, we believe Mohaniya karma is the king of karma, right? Yeah. You all agree with that? Yeah. But someone, if comes and tells Antray karma is the boss of the other karmas as well, is kind of commander-in-chief. Why? In the process of knowledge, if you need more knowledge, Antray karma can be an obstacle. It's not just Jnanavarniya karma. So Antray karma is deceptive karma. Deceptively, it works with every other karma. How? It's not only Jnanavarni karma because of which we might not have knowledge, it could be Antray karma as well. It's not just because of Mohani karma, a person is not able to take charitra or become a sadhu or become a shravak. It could be Antray karma as well. It's not just because of Gotra karma and other karmas, person is Vedaniya karma, person is not having material richness. It could be Antray karma as well. So Antray karma is the culprit which runs with, is a friend of all karmas in a way, in simple terms. So sometimes we say Antray ka jog hai, right? Everything we say Antray ka jog hai. How can everything be Antray ka jog? Yes, because Antray karma is friend of all karmas. So many times it is Antray karma which we have to deal with to heal our problems or deal with our problems. And whether it's spiritual upliftment or material upliftment or success in life or success in spirituality, Antray karma can be in every aspect of our life. And if we are able to deal with that, it could be a big change or a big impact on our life. So I think I will stop here. There is 5 more minutes. And we can take any question if there is any question. So in brief, what we discussed is there are 2 kinds of karma, ghati and aghati. Aghati karma has an impact on the external world, body, status, health, and lifespan. Some have long lifespan and some has short lifespan. So all this is aghati karma, and we are more bothered about it. And it is both shubh and ashubh. But ghati karma, which has an impact on our consciousness, is Jnanavarniya, Darshanavarniya, Mohaniya, and Antray. And these are the forces which make a big difference how we respond in the outer world and whether we get success or not. So our focus to deal or to have the best Shubh Nam karma, instead of focusing on the material Shubh karma, if you're able to focus on Mohaniya karma and Antray karma and Jnanavarniya karma, you will have much more ability to deal with the other karmas as well. Because the moment you have positive thought, no matter which kind of karma is playing, you will go through it in peace. So the capacity to be in peace, the capacity to think positive, the capacity to observe the truth as a passing by story, the tough time as a passing by story, is by not having influence by the Mohaniya karma, whether economically, health-wise, status, social, some people have too much of yash, right? बहुत अच्छा नाम होता है. Like for example, Namo. He might have had such a good punya for having such good name and fame. But does everyone appreciate him? There are some people who would take banners and say, let him, negative also. So Shubha and Ashubha are constantly going, but this is all in the material world. Ultimately, what makes a difference is in the soul. How is the state of the soul in this whole situation? So if we are in peace, in the good and bad, we say Bhagwan is Vitarag. We don't say Vitadvesh. Why? It is tough to get over Rag than Dvesh. It's tough to be neutral when you have more prosperity, success. If you did a good thing, the ego comes in so fast. If there is a negative thought, we think, oh, I shouldn't think negative. But if you get success, what happens? The awareness that we shouldn't be egoistic about it is less. So it's harder to deal with the Shubh Karma, Uday of Shubh Karma. So that's the reason we say Vita Rag, and that's more important. But again, in our lives, for us both is important to not be negative for Ashubh Karma and not be egoistic about Shubh Karma. Be neutral, everything is a passing by story, and let the soul live with awareness. And that is the pure state of soul. Om. because I mean it's just by experience. You try to do certain things and there is no success coming to you. You make so much of effort. For some people, they're born with a golden spoon and everything comes to their plate perfectly well. But for some, you have to strive hard, make efforts, one, second, third effort to really get what you're looking for. So we are born with different kinds of situations. So that's how you would know that there is an Antraya karma. In case of karma, there is one simple theory for Jainism that the kind of act you do, anything, all karmas except Aishya karma is constantly being bound or deleted. Like for example, when you do tapasya, you're not just deleting one karma, it's having an impact on all karmas. But the proportion in which it has an impact on different karmas would vary. So suppose a person did some sessions where the person is sharing knowledge to others and trying to help others learn well and stuff. The person is making a special effort in the case of knowledge. So that way a person is trying to deal with Jnana Varnya Karma and Antraya Karma, which might influence the Jnana Varnya Karma. For example, Mohaniya Karma, right? So you do a lot of meditation and all that stuff, you're trying to deal with Mohaniya Karma. So there is we try to say in this language, but ultimately it's all the karmas which are influenced but in different degrees. So it could be that the target area is more of Mohaniya karma and stuff, and there is another like whole huge philosophy of karma where how much of proportion of which karma is being influenced or how much of proportion of which karma we are receiving constantly, there is a mathematical calculation of this. So, and usually we say that, for example, knowledge, be humble to knowledge giver, respect the sacred text, respect the words of the sacred person. By doing that, you're actually dealing with your Jnana Varnya Karma. And Antraya Karma is by doing tapasya a lot, that can help you deal with your Antraya Karma. Meditation and stuff could help you deal with your Mohaniya Karma. Mantra chanting can help you change your conscious status basically and help you there. Every effort we are trying to do, even sitting here, right? I have a question. Like when you come here and sit, are you allowed to choose? I mean, do you choose? I mean, use cell phones or stuff? No, right? So when you come here for an hour at least, so for 1 hour you can do samayik. You don't interact with each other or touch each other or do anything. You're constantly in the mode of spiritual, like this thing, right? So you use that 1 hour in samayik. Samayik means you take a vow that for 48 minutes I'll not interfere in the worldly things. You're in a way not doing it, but by not taking the vow, you're keeping the doors open. So because you were not in samayik, you had to receive the phone, right? So I would encourage from next time on, if we can also take the samayik vow, it would add more kind of cream to the cake kind of thing.
We used to do it before.
Okay, so we need reminders
We
again.
should revive it.
Yes.
Good idea.
I mean, you should start, say, we are taking Samite, so everybody be.
Okay, so Masubai should remind me samayik day or something.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll try to remember, but for samayik, try to bring a piece of cloth or tissue paper, so you don't have to speak with your this thing. The rest is fine basically, and you keep the cell phones off. That is enough.
So that will give us more better karmas.
Okay, will it give better karma?
At least it should
शुभ
stop
कर्म का
the
बंधन तो होता है।
Okay, so there are some samayik means tyag, which means you're closing the doors.
Yeah.
You're closing the intake of karma by doing samayik, by taking the vow of samayik. And in the samayik, you're already listening, you're doing meditation. That is to delete the previous karma as well. And in the process of deletion of previous karma, you do take in good karmas. So the end product, I mean the desired product is not good karma. The desired product is deletion of karma. वो जैसे कहते हैं ना कि you have a garden or a mango yard. What's your goal? Mangoes. But there is grass growing around. What's your focus? Grass or mangoes? So don't think of getting new karma. You're already having a lot. You want to get rid of it. The good karma will automatically come in the process of deletion. but our target is to purify ourselves.
It's good to delete something because memory is all full.
Okay.
When that comes.
Yeah, so let's just keep deleting that. That's good. Okay, so Om.
Om.
Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayuryanam, Namo Vajjayanam, Namo Loye Sabbasahunam. Eso Panchanamukkaro Savapavapanasano Mangalanancha Savvesim Padamang Havai Mangalam Chattari Mangalam Arhanta Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevali Pannatto Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Loguttama Arhanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevali Pannatto Dhammo Loguttamo Chattari Saranam Pavajjami Arhante Saranam Pavajjami Siddhe Saranam Pavajjami Sahu Saranam Pavajjami Kevali Pannattam Dhammam Saranam Pavajjami Dhammo Mangalamukkhitham Ahimsa Sanjamo Tavo Devavitam Namang Santi Jassadham Me Sayamano Chaittabharaham Vasam Chakkavatti Mahedhiyo Santi Santi Kareloe Patto Gai Manottaram Devadanav Gandhava Jakha Rakhasa Kennara Bambhayarim Namang Santi Dukkaram Je Karintitam Mangalam Bhagavan Viro Mangalam Gautamo Gani Mangalam Sulibhadradya Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam Mangalam Matimana Bhikshu Mangalam Harimallaka Mangalam Raya Chandradya Mangalam Tulasi Guru Mahapragyostu Mangalam Mahashravanostu Mangalam Vighnaharana Mangalakara Swami-Vishnu Naam Gunolakh Sumiran Kiya Sare Achintya Kam Vighnaharana Mangalakara Swami-Vishnu Naam Gunolakh Sumiran Kiya Sare Achintya Kam Vighnaharana Mangalakara Swami-Vishnu Naam Gunolakh Sumiran Kiya Sare Achintya Kam Sare Achintya Kam Sare Achintya Kam.